The economic case against tariffs is stronger by the day as the numbers roll in. Spending on manufacturing construction, which surged under Joe Biden and peaked at about $250 billion at an annual rate in September 2024, had fallen to about $175 billion by May of this year. Manufacturing employment is down roughly 75,000 jobs since Trump returned to office. Factory output has risen, but the gains are concentrated in advanced manufacturing and AI, much of it reflecting investments planned before Trump took office and little related to tariffs. Consider Greg Fraley, whom the U.S. Chamber of Commerce wrote about a few months ago. He helps run Falco, a small Arizona company that makes aluminum parts for commercial aircraft. This is precisely the kind of business Trump says he wants to help: an American factory employing American workers. Falco's aluminum costs are up 72%. The company cannot simply buy American metal. Domestic production meets only about half of U.S. demand, and much of that output is not available on the open market. So Falco keeps importing aluminum, pays the tariff, and absorbs the damage. It has frozen hiring, postponed expansion, allowed its workforce to shrink by at least 20% through attrition, dipped into cash reserves, and added a tariff surcharge to customer bills, according to Fraley. Meanwhile, even after the so-called Liberation Day fallout, Trump doubled the tariff on imported aluminum to 50% and recently offered producers a discount if they built smelters in America. Rio Tinto, one of the world's largest aluminum producers, immediately said no. So the tariff has achieved a trifecta: higher costs for an American manufacturer, fewer jobs and less investment there, and no new smelter from the foreign producer the tariffs were meant to entice. The logic is upside down. Aluminum smelting accounts for only a small fraction of America's aluminum jobs. The vast majority are in recycling and in the midstream and downstream industries that turn the metal into aircraft parts, cars, cans, machinery, and building materials. Trump is protecting the tiny upstream slice by taxing the vastly larger industrial base that depends on it and employs many more people. For 8 decades, the U.S. led the world toward open markets and open trade. In barely 2 years, Trump has transformed it into effectively the most protectionist major advanced economy in the world. The result has not been a manufacturing renaissance. It has been higher prices, weaker investment, fewer manufacturing jobs, and a government increasingly willing to make falsehood official policy in order to defend a failed economic creed.